Hi to everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to share my knowledge and my experience with you. I'm Dr. Barbara Cawood. I'm a medical doctor in South Africa, graduated in 1987, and I practice as a general practitioner in family medicine, in occupational medicine, and also in integrative medicine. I work in my own clinic, Cawood Medical Clinic. I have worked and lived in South Africa, Zimbabwe, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. I have lectured to the homeopaths at the School of Homeopathy in DUT, Durban University of Technology. And I also mentored the research projects for the master's research. I've lectured in rural medicine for doctors in University of Manitoba, and I've also mentored doctors at Stellenbosch University in integrative medicine. Whilst in Canada, I was a flying doctor as well, just for a little bit of diversity. I have, throughout my clinical career, always had an academic side to my practice, and it is to this that I really want to bring my knowledge for you today. Homeopathy is the second largest medical system after allopathic, so Western medicine is also called allopathy, and homeopathy is the second largest, so you understand that this is quite an important medical system. It's around about 240 years old. The scientific evidence for the homeopathic remedies, in other words the medicine that homeopaths use, has in the last 10 years been proven because of the advance of the electron microscope. So what has now been proven is that homeopathic medicine has nanoparticles in it. This is absolutely critical in our understanding, because up until this time, so for the last, call it 220 years, all that medicine has had is the results, the clinical results that this kind of medicine has provided. But now, with the scientific evidence of using an electron microscope to show the particles in homeopathic remedies, it now enters a completely new area. In allopathy, a new area in medicine is called nanomedicine. Now, nanomedicine is just sort of entering into allopathic medicine. However, homeopathy has been practicing this without the documented scientific particle evidence for over 200 years. So you can see the importance of the knowledge that we need to now advance with. So when I look at it as a medical practitioner, both scientifically and experientially, I am absolutely overwhelmed by the results that good homeopathic treatment can achieve. And it's this that I'm going to share with you specifically regarding Dr. Sam Panos today. So when I was still lecturing in homeopathy to the homeopathic students, I had two small children, and it was at this time that after 3 antibiotics for my not even 12-month-old baby for tonsillitis, that I then started to shift and say, well, never mind my knowledge and never mind the fact that I'm a medical doctor, let me now try homeopathy for my children. The consequence of that was that I actually chose to raise both my boys homeopathically, and it was only when and if the homeopathy wasn't sufficient that I then moved to allopathic medicine. So my children, my youngest, when he left home at 18, when we were discussing what's your biggest challenge that you think you're going to have leaving home, and he said, what if I get sick? I don't know what a doctor's office looks like. So that is a testimony to how I position the brilliance of good homeopathics in terms of healthcare. Okay, so if you have any further questions about the scientific application of homeopathy or the relevance of it, please don't hesitate to contact me personally via Dr. Sam. I'll be very happy to address any questions regarding it. So then I was invited as a guest to the 4th International Integrative Oncology Conference in India in February of 2020. And it was at this conference that I had the great pleasure of meeting some of the world's top homeopaths, and one of them was Dr. Sam from Australia. Dr. Sam and I have since had a very close working relationship, and I have the highest respect for him, in my opinion, as almost a specialist homeopath. The reason I say that is because I do practice sort of limited homeopathy as part of my integrative medicine in my general practice, along with allopathy and nutraceuticals, which is really my integrative area of specialty, is the nutraceutical and nutritional area, the application of intravenous nutraceuticals and the oral application rather than using allopathic. However, I've come to learn that there's a place for each of these modalities, and the wisdom lies in knowing when to use which medical system for which condition and which patients. And so Sam has become my referred to specialist in homeopathy, and in the past 2 years he's treated some very, very challenging medical conditions where medicine has not had adequate answers and not got the results that are adequate healing for my patients. Dr. Sam has treated some of our tough mental health illnesses, almost a psychotic break, and within 1 week got results, and after just about a year's treatment, the patient is completely and totally stable and blossoming. His life has completely changed. And then another patient had general anxiety disorder from childhood, so lived with it his whole life, a family hereditary illness, and to this the patient has repetitively returned requesting homeopathy because of how it makes him feel and how the improvement has been for him. Prior to that, he sort of received allopathic medicine and treatment and some psychotherapy on and off for 5 years prior. So for him, homeopathy definitely was the answer. And as the journey goes, hopefully, and providing the patient remains compliant, I have absolutely no hesitation to expect a complete normalization and the general anxiety disorder to disappear completely. And then there were patients, for example, with impotence, sexual impotence, and within one treatment they had a 50% improvement, and so on and so forth. So I have many patients, of course, your everyday general practice type of treatments. In selected patients, I will prescribe some homeopathy, and that heals them within 3 days, compared to the allopathic option, which would be a 10-day treatment. So it gives you some idea of the potency and the efficacy that homeopathy has. So I've been talking to you about clinical cases. I just want to touch back on the academic side of it. So as a integrative doctor working in nutraceuticals, I do a lot of gene testing and genomic testing, and we work with epigenetics and nutraceuticals according to your specific genetic makeup. The interesting thing about homeopathy is that it actually works at an epigenetic level, and so for me this is the most exciting area of homeopathy going forward, is that homeopathy working at an epigenetic level is how we're getting almost cures. And if we look at 5-year rates as a cure, then I can definitely say that homeopathy is offering a cure. And the way it works in terms of nanomedicine is at an epigenetic level. Now, Dr. Sam has also been involved with our COVID pandemic treatment here in my practice in South Africa, and it was his prescription that I used for my patients in general practice for prevention. And then we started to deal with the first wave, the second wave, the third wave, and so on. And so we needed a treatment, a homeopathic treatment. And then Dr. Sam, in conjunction with Professor Rajendran from Kerala in India, in Kochi, Kerala, have provided me with a prescription. And I want to share this with you because we're busy with the statistics. So I cannot tell you right now the percentage of my patients who took preventive who actually got COVID, but those statistics will be available very soon. The statistics I can share with you, however, is about the treatment. In my clinic, my nurse and I have personally swabbed around about 400 patients, positive patients. We've swabbed many more, but 400 have been positive, and those 400 that I'm talking about took the homeopathic medicine. I have patients who chose not to take the homeopathic treatment. They don't form part of the 400. So from our homeopathic prescription from Dr. Sam, in combination with Professor Rajendran, we have only had one hospitalization for 4 days of these 400 patients. Now please listen carefully. We have not had one death. We have not had one death from COVID of the patients who've used the homeopathic nanomedicine for the COVID treatment. This is something that has absolutely astounded me. And during this whole journey of mine, Dr. Sam has been a pillar of strength to me. I've been able to contact him at any time for any help, and his knowledge is superb. There's my homeopathic journey. I've come back to really looking at the power and the position of homeopathy for us going forward now into the next number of years with our COVID challenge and our long COVID, and what we've now medically doctors are saying internationally that COVID can be causing AIDS. So with all of this, homeopathy for me is now becoming very, very important. And so I absolutely encourage each and every one of you who have the opportunity and the privilege to be able to be treated by Dr. Sam. Please take that advantage, work with him thoroughly, listen to him carefully, follow his advice, stick with him, because I can assure you his skills in homeopathy are superb, and I do rate him as one of the top homeopaths globally. So thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for allowing me to share my knowledge and my experience with you, and I wish you well in your journey of seeking health care and healing, and may you be blessed as you do start to heal. Thank you.